Well, listen, whatever your day's like, I think we're going to have a great night. I'm excited. Cindy and I, if we've not really had the chance to get to know each other very much, we're from South Dakota. We're natives of South Dakota out in the East River area by Sioux Falls, a little town called Chancellor. Lennox High School. Any of you heard of Lennox High School and all that? That's high school. And so we met in high school. That's how we met. I was lifting weights all the time on the sumo team, sumo wrestling team. I was 145 pounds as a junior in high school. My same height when Cindy and I met. We were chemistry lab partners, and I'll be honest with you, I fell in love first day I met her. Stalked her for 6 years, and then she finally submitted to marry me. Rather than me looking inside the window from the outside all the time, she thought I could come in the house and we could get married. So we did that, and we've had just a great time. We're married 33 years, and we have a son who's now 28, just turned 28, which is hard for me to explain how she's only 35 without me being arrested for something. And we have a son and a daughter-in-law in Sioux Falls, and he's in ministry, and a daughter who's in New York. And Cindy, my wife just got back from New York. She is glad she went the previous weekend than this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Although I do think it's interesting. Do you think it's any coincidence at all, okay, that our daughter, who just moved to New York, 2.5 months ago, my wife goes now there for the first time to visit her, and so the two DeVries women are in New York City. She leaves, and within 6 days they have earthquake, aftershocks, and a hurricane. Is there a coincidence here of two women? That's why I'm called the eye of the storm, okay, at my house. But we have a lot of fun. My background is not business. My background is actually ministry. Majored in music. We can do some karaoke afterwards. Ronnie's going to do that. But ministry, and that's been a part of my life. I never took a business course in my life, so for me to be anywhere talking about business was obviously not my thought at all. But what happened very simply is I did what they taught me to do. Go get a good education, get a good job, and work hard. Any of you heard something similar to that at all? Kind of thing? And did that. In fact, I was on my way of getting my master's. I was finishing my master's degree. And yet, I was a little frustrated because of the fact that Cindy was working full-time. I was working about 60, 70 hours a week at the church and loving it. But to be honest, we found ourselves, well, I know you probably don't relate, but maybe you've heard of it, living paycheck to paycheck. Have you ever heard of it? I know you don't know what it means, but maybe you've heard of it. Kind of thing. And you know what, I kept thinking this, there's got to be a better way. How many know how to work hard? Okay? How many know there's a difference working hard and working smart? How many think it would be better if you could work smarter? Yes. Exactly. And you ever done this? You ever looked at a home ever? And you just looked at the home and you go, what do they do? You ever done that, or is that just me? You ever done that? Yeah. Look at a home and you go, what do they do that allows them, because I know the house I'm living in and the payment, so I can, in my mind, kind of figure that out, and you go, what do they do for it? Or how many, you ever done this? You ever driven and seen this just sweet vehicle and thought, oh, what do they do? You relate to that at all? That's where I was. I kept thinking, what is it? And I was on staff at the church, and it was a larger church, so I knew the people real well, and I saw the lifestyle that some of these people had. And I kept thinking, and I saw their vacations, I saw their second homes, I knew what they did as family, and I went, man, what did they do? Because I know that I'm working harder than they are. Well, what do they do? Well, that's, in the middle of that whole kind of thing, I got a phone call out of the blue from a doctor I did not know, but he knew somebody who knew me. And he said, hey, we're working on a project, I'd like to talk to you. And I went, well, you know what? Maybe I can learn some things. And as we talked, he walked through some concepts with me and showed me a little bit of concept of a business plan that, I'll be honest, I got very intrigued by. Because for me, it clicked the aspect of working smart. Now, how many know that whatever you want to succeed in, you have to work hard? Can we agree on that one? Okay, I don't care what it is in life, you have to work hard at that. But when I saw the concept, and he sketched something out to me about 15 minutes, I went, okay, that makes a little sense to me. And I didn't understand it all, and it was just me, so I told Cindy, I said, listen, I want you to sit in with me, and I want to get some details on this so you and I can talk, because that maybe this is a way that we could work a little smarter, okay? How many know that there's a phrase that says if somebody has something you don't have, it's usually because they know something you don't know. Would you agree with that phrase? Yes. And I thought, what if I could learn some things? And then we got very, very lucky, very, very lucky. I'll give all the credit to God, but the doctor opened a door for me to meet 3 very, very wealthy multimillionaires who really had taken this project and really built it. And I had a chance to kind of basically understand and get some more specifics, and I'll tell you, it's changed our lives. So we are very, very excited. So here's what we're going to do tonight. We're not going to take a long time, but we're going to have some fun, okay? So first of all, guys, if you want to take your jackets off, just relax, okay? Trust me, let's just stay with just the jackets, okay? Keep the shirt on, okay, please, okay? So just relax. I would encourage you, if you have something to write with, I'd encourage you to take a few notes on some things. And here's the reason why. I've learned this in ministry as well as in business, that a short pencil is better than a long memory. Okay? And here's what's going to happen. When I walk through some things, I'm not going to get through every detail and every specific. I want to try to give you a little bit of what I would call the 10,000-foot view, you know what I'm saying, from the top down kind of thing. Because I think if you can catch the bigger picture and the overview, then some of the specifics, okay, we can walk through with you, you know, as we answer questions for you. Now, we'll walk through some specifics, but I just say don't worry about it. But here's why I say take a pen or paper with you. Some questions are going to pop in your head. Write them down, and then what will happen is, when we're done, if you want, just simply let the person know who invited you here, hey, here's kind of some of the questions I have, great, and we'll then know how to answer whatever questions, you know, kind of thing. You ever done this, where you went, I had a question, what was that again? You ever had that? Or is that just me, because of my age? Okay? Well, that's what we encourage. So here's what we're going to walk through. We're going to walk through just a couple things. Number one is the importance of leveraging. Let me tell you this. Most people, I didn't understand this, but this is the most important word in financial success. The people that succeed financially do not have more hours in a day than you and I have. How many of you had 24? Okay, at least you're hoping you have 24. Okay? The person who is, would we all agree that there's probably somebody in the world right now that makes 10 times more than you do right now? Could we also agree there's some maybe people who make 100 times more? Or 1,000 times more? You know what I'm saying? We know that, okay? Why? It's not because they have 1,000 times more hours. They have done a word called leverage. Most people don't understand. I had no idea about this word. So we're going to talk about that real briefly. We're talking about partnering, because how do you agree that you become like the people you hang around with? Okay, now don't look at the person right now and go, ooh, okay, don't do that. But it's reality. If you hang around people who are financially broke, guess what? That's the information you're going to get. If you're hanging around people who are financially successful, that's the information you get. So partnering is very important. Obviously, revenue and profit, because how many of you are in a spot where you'd like to make more money? Okay, that's where I was. Okay, if we're going to talk about a business project, let's talk about something that is going to create income, obviously, and then we'll walk through quickly the concept of the business plan itself. So let's walk a couple things. So first of all, here's what I love. What we're going to talk about is not something that might work. We want to have you take a look at a concept that already has over 50 years of growth. Now, how many of you know that there's some businesses that were in the top Fortune 500 companies, let's say 30 years ago, that aren't even in existence today? Could we agree that? I mean, could we agree that there are industries that were and successful industries 10 years ago that are not even industries today? Make sense? How do we know that? Because, for example, are there industries that weren't even in existence 5 years ago today, but now are billion-dollar companies? Example. Groupon is a great example. I don't know when Groupon started, but it was just a couple of years ago. Multi-billion-dollar business wasn't even a thought a few years ago. So this is very important, because when you talk about something having 50 years of growth, it has spanned not only time, but it has spanned different economic periods as well, okay? So how many can just read the word there, okay? So here we go. So anyway, a business plan that we just talked about, that's gone from $4 billion to $9.2 billion in the last 10 years, so it's doubled. Now here's the reality of what happens for most people. Most people don't understand that there's a typical plan that you and I are on. It's called a 45-year plan. Most people get out of high school, college, and they go do what? They go start working. How long do people usually work till? Till mid-60s. It used to be mid-60s. Now it's going along. Now most people don't understand it. And I'll tell you, when I saw this really got me to think, because I never understood it until I saw this, and then I started putting people's names in with it. Thinking that, you know what? I know people that are like this. And here's the reality. Most people in their 20s, they start to learn that their biggest earning power is in their 30s and their 40s. But what happens in their 50s, things start to change a little bit. Not only with them physically, they start getting rounder, okay? But their income starts to round up. Because how many of you know, for most companies, when is the person most expensive? deployed, around their 50s. Okay, example. I have a good friend, and I'm going to have lunch with him this next week, was a major player in a corporation here in the United States called Teldrug. Any of you heard of Teldrug? Okay, it's a national corporation involving the internet and pharmaceuticals and so forth. He had 700 people that reported to him, directly or indirectly. Flew all over different places, and had a great, great job. He is now in his late 40s. Well, he just got notified they're taking that whole layer out. Because they can take his salary and what can they do with it? They can hire 2 guys that are 25 years old, makes sense? And they can save a lot of money. This last summer in Sioux Falls in the school district, they gave early retirement to 180 teachers in the Sioux Falls school district. Why? They can bring in people who are cheaper and put a lot of money to their bottom line. So the reality is this: when a person gets in their 50s, their 60s, that is not their greatest earning power. And yet, when we get to the age of 65 to retirement, we find most people still have to work. Well, it's simply a reality. Well, what we're going to talk about are some ways of making money. Because there's 2 different forms of money. One is called active. 95% of people are on this side. Now, there's 2 ways to do it. Either you're employed by somebody else. How many of you are employed by somebody else? Okay, great. That's very positive. Most people, this is the largest majority in our country, okay? So they're employed by somebody else. They trade their hours for the dollars, and the key word is at the bottom. You can see the key word is work. So what would happen to your income if you work for somebody else if you didn't show up for work for the next 2 months? It'd get exciting. Wouldn't it? Exactly. That's what it is. Now, is there another category called self-employed, where you work. Who do you work for? Yourself. You could be a construction worker. You could be a farmer. It could be a variety of different things. Okay, great. Now, it's interesting. My education, most people's education, in a bachelor's degree or even a master's degree, got me on this side of the line. My problem was this: how many of you, if you wanted to make an extra $30,000 this next year, how many of you might find that difficult at your present employment? That was mine. At the church. What were the options of me? What are the options of a youth pastor legally making $100 grand a year? Legally, that's a key word. Okay, same as teachers. It won't happen because who's in control? They are. And see, that's a word. The key word right now in economics is control. Who is controlling your lifestyle? Is it you or is it somebody else? Well, there is a different line called ongoing income, where 5% of people in this country work there, and that is where you do something but you can create money on and over again. Now that is either as a business owner or as an investor. This is where you now get the word leverage. So how many of you have eaten at any fast food restaurant in the last 2 weeks? Okay, a lot of people have. Now let me ask you, wherever you ate, do you believe that the owner of that restaurant was there when you ate? Probably not. But was the owner making money? Absolutely, because the owner understood leveraging themselves. How many McDonald's would you all like to have? Could we agree McDonald's doesn't make the greatest tasting burger in the world? Could we agree with that? Yeah, they don't, okay, at all. Okay, it's a meat derivative, okay? But it's not bad with enough ketchup. But the reality is this: it doesn't matter. What the McDonald's is leveraging themselves. Now here's what's really fun. I just went to a Chicago Cubs baseball game, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Any of you been to Wrigley Field at all to see a game? Oh, you know what? You got to do it one time, even if you're not a baseball fan. It's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. It is the second oldest ballpark in the country. 1912 it was built. But it's like you're walking back literally in time because the stadium is built in the middle of a huge neighborhood. Kind of thing. It's very, very fun. But what's interesting, right across the street, literally just from here to that wall, across the street, guess what it was? A McDonald's. Now here's the smart thing. Not only did they have a great location for selling stuff, they had 100 parking spaces that they sold between $25 and $35 a piece for every ball game. Now go home and do that mathematics, and they made a lot of money outside of burgers. That's called really leveraging yourself, okay? The concept that we want to talk about tonight is this, is moving you from the left side to the right side. I knew this. My chances of becoming financially free. In fact, I'll say this. What are the chances, do you think, of creating, let's say, we can create a six-figure walk-away income on the left side of the line? What are the chances? Possibly, but walk away. That's the key. See, I knew that there wasn't. So the whole deal is, what if we can help move from the left side to the right side? So that's what we're going to talk about. Here's the reality, okay? We have two choices, okay? We all have a circle called income. We also have a circle called dreams. How many of you, your dream circle is not the same size as your income circle? You know what I'm saying? It just isn't. So the reality is this. We have one of two options here. Either increase your income or shrink your dreams. So here's what I want you to do real quick, just for fun. On your piece of paper, okay, or in your mind, I just want you to think of two things real quickly, real simple for me. That is this. 5 years from now. 5 years from now, if I ask you the question, if you could make X amount of money per year, ongoing, 5 years from now, what's the figure that pops in your head that you would go, wow, that would fire me up? What figure just pops in your head? Just put it in your mind. What figure pops in your head? Okay, got a figure? Okay. The second thing I would say is, how many weeks vacation would you like? 5 years from now. If you could pick, how many weeks vacation with that money would you like? Yeah, you can't have more than 52. Okay, that's it. Okay? So y'all have an income in your mind, right? Okay, y'all have weeks. Okay, great. Now here's the thought then. With that much income and that much vacation, what would be different in your life 5 years from now than it is right now? Let's think some ideas. What would be your life? This picture was taken in Sioux Falls. Right by the Missouri River. Okay. How many of you, that might be in your picture, if you had that much income with that much free time? Yeah. You know, I mean, the choices of what you do with your time. Being able to travel. How many of you would travel more than you travel? Absolutely. I mean, have choices. Any certain place, just for fun. Fire up a couple places you want to go someday. Travel. Where? St. Thomas. That could be that picture. Alaska, maybe not. But I like Alaska. Did I say Sioux Falls? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Man of culture. Hawaii?
Greek Islands.
I mean, you know, a person can think of a lot of things, don't they? How many know it's pretty hard to see the world on 2 weeks vacation? Absolutely, and then especially when you don't have any money. So what would that look like? How would this be? How many of you think that if you could be debt-free, it would relieve a little bit of stress? No car debt, no school debt possibly, no consumer debt, no credit card debt. How about no house payment? How many of you get fired up if you knew you had enough money in the account this week to write a check and pay off your house if you had a house? That'd be fun? Absolutely. The last check that we wrote, $87,109.61, was the last check I wrote for my house payment. That's fun. To be able to say, you know what? I'm not going to put all that money of interest into a banker's thing. You know, to be able to, now this is more Rapid City, okay? But do things with family. Now that could be obviously if you have children, or extended family. Be able to spend more time with them, kind of thing, okay? How many of you think you like this picture? Any adventure people here? I'm curious, what adventure things have you not done that you'd like to do someday? Skydiving, that'd be a good one. Hang gliding. Bungee jumping's good. We'll talk about it here after the break, but one of the things you have to do is go skydiving, or I should say, actually it's sky jumping. It's off in New Zealand. They have a thing called the Sky Tower. It's 100 stories tall. It's the tallest building in the southern hemisphere, and on the 66th floor you can jump off. Okay, I encourage you strongly to do it. It'll clean your system out. It's absolutely great. Absolutely great. Okay, how do you think this is a great thought? If you had every Friday off, would that just free up some things? You know, I mean, that could make, because man, people just, oh, Friday, go get to Saturday, Sunday, and then, oh, Sunday, okay, gotta get in Europe, and just even have an extra day off. Could be kind of thing. You could actually get kind of a quick getaway and do some things you like there. How many think that's a good one? How many of you would not get up at a time that you get up currently? You know what I'm saying? Get up when you're ready to get up. You don't have to be able to just go, because if you owned your time, instead of somebody else, then you can pick the time you want to get up. How many of you have ever talked yourself into going to sleep at night because you knew you had to get I got to get to sleep. I'm going to be dead tomorrow if I don't. But you were, you know what I'm saying? You ever done that? Sure. To be able to say, I'm not tired yet. You know, I have the choice kind of thing. You know, how many of you are not living in your dream home? You know, so maybe it's what the home would look like or the location of the home. To be able to have choices and be able to do it that way. How about this? How many of you are not driving your dream car? Am I right? You know, I drove a Honda Civic. That was not my dream car. Yeah. Well, you can put your picture there. You know, whatever picture you like up there. You know, I drove a Honda Civic. It was not my dream car. It's a car I could afford. And everything I had was what I could afford. You ever done that? The place I lived was what I could afford. Where I ate was what I could afford. Everything was what I could afford. You know, that way. Or maybe some extras, like putting vegetables on your face. You know, or whatever you'd like to do. You know, just some toys. How many of you would have some toys? Any guys that have some more toys? You know, just some fun things, whether it's a snowmobile or motorcycle or whatever the case. You just have some choices in life. How many of you would love to have just a fund with like $10,000 cash in it? Just fun, so when you saw a toy, something went, you just got it. You know, might be, you know, be kind of a fun thing at all. I think this is a key one for a lot of people. The ability to be an entrepreneur. To be able to own your life, to own your company, own your business, instead of someone else owning it and you working for them. Make sense? The ability to determine where you want to go. How many of you are in an environment right now where somebody else determines your pay? See, this is the key. We're seeing a lot of people, especially with technology, that want to be an entrepreneur because when you're an entrepreneur, you now own the company. You are the CEO. You determine where you want to be. Now, the holdbacks for most people in doing that is what? Why don't most people do that?
Money.
Money?
Knowledge.
Make sense? There's a lot of factors. Education, a lot of factors. Here's what's fun. With technology, internet, all of that has changed. Anybody, anywhere can do business with anybody, anywhere, at any point, any time, and the majority of people are owning their own business online. That is the greatest thing that technology has changed. I mean, could we agree that technology has changed everything? I mean, we could go and give 101 examples about when I grew up. You had 3 channels. And the remote control was called a child. Any resemble that? Turn that channel. You know? That was it. How many of you remember before cable? Okay, how many remember there used to be tin foil on the antenna? That's how you got reception. You know, I think that has been it's not been that long. Think about this. What's going to change in the next 10 years? 15, 20 years. It's going to be unbelievable. And the people that are going to profit from it are the people that leverage themselves in a very key way. So here's what we're looking for. We're looking as we expand the project for people who are 2 qualities, teachable, motivated. They're coachable because how many know you cannot make somebody motivated? You ever try to make somebody motivated? Hey! Oh, okay. You ever had a coach try to make you motivated? Man, when I was in high school, we had a football coach that thought that the louder he yelled, the more motivated we'd get. Holy cow, you know. Oh, we can go stories all night on that one. But the reality is this, man, you can't make somebody motivated. They either are or they aren't. They're either coachable or they're not. Here's the reality. Every one of us right now is a spot where either we really want to move forward in life, financially, or we don't. Because how many know there's somebody that want everything, but they don't want to do anything for it? Can we agree? Let me just say real quick up front. This business project is not get rich quick. Now, is that okay thing? Because if it's get rich quick, you can also lose it quick. I didn't want that. I wanted something that's going to be around for a while. If I built it, then I want it there for a period of time. Great. So how do we make money? Here's the reality. We all understand this very simply. You have a manufacturer, you have a consumer. This has always been business. Typically, before technology, there was a whole strain in between there where everything along the line, basically, prices went up, right? Well, here comes along Sam Walton, okay, Walmart, and a bunch of others, and they said, let's cut out a couple of these, and let's go right from the manufacturer retail. What did he take with those 2 layers? That income, what did he do with it? Did he pass it all on to savings?
No.
You know, it's very interesting. What has Walmart always prided themselves on? Lower prices. You know, it was interesting. I told Cindy, I saw the commercial, And I thought it was very interesting because what they were promoting is that they'll match other people's price. And I kept thinking, if you're the lowest, why do you got to match it? Very interesting, kind of thing. But he passed a little bit of savings initially, but the majority he took and he kept it for himself. Well, here's the reality. That benefits him. How much money have you and I made on Walmart? None of us have made anything. What if we could do something a little different? And that's a whole aspect of what technology's done. Go straight from direct to consumer. Let's cut it all out. Go straight to the consumer. Now, if that's the case, then what happens is there's profit to be made. Because here, every manufacturer is trying to figure out ways how to get to communities of consumers. That's what the whole internet, that's what Groupon is based on, and all the other factors of it. Because if you can do that, there is profit to be made. So here's the good thing about it, though. You and I are a community. Every one of us here represents a community of people. It's who you are, plus everybody that you know. How many of you have at least 50 names on your cell phone? Absolutely. That represents a community. Okay, so you can take that and you can benefit from it. So here's literally what we do. We are now going to partner, because that's a whole aspect of leveraging. These other three will go quickly, but it's very important that you understand the aspect of partnering. Partnering is key to everything. You know, if I wanted to join a football team, there could be a number of football teams I could partner with, right? You know that the team you partner with determines a lot of your success. Absolutely, okay? I've been a Detroit Lion fan for a number of years, along with Kansas City Chiefs. I've been wearing a sack over my head for like the last 10 years, okay? And so what you'll find here is some of the exclusive brands. Now, exclusive simply means you won't see any place anywhere, on any shelf or any store. They only do business on the internet. They only do business with us, okay? Cindy is an exclusive of mine. I like exclusives, okay? Sarah's our exclusive daughter. I like exclusives, okay? These are great because they only do business with us. I love that. Because if they only do business with us, that means we have no competition anywhere. Let me highlight a couple of these for you. You'll see up here at the top, Nutrilite. How many of you ever heard of GNC? Okay, GNC is a big company. What I love is Nutrilite is actually 3 times bigger than GNC. What I love about it more is actually not only 3 times bigger, but it is plant-based. How many know that plant-based is a little bit better than synthetic? Absolutely. Now, here's what's fun. Do you think nutrition is going to be a line that continues to grow? Absolutely, it's going to continue to grow. And we have the ability to be a major part of it without having to do all the facilities and everything else with it. I won't go through all of them. Excess. I love excess. How many like lemon? There's like 14 flavors, okay? Lemon's my favorite. What makes it different, excess, is that it's different than any other energy drink in the market because a lot of them get their uplift from what? Sugar, caffeine, things like that. So you can have a lift up and a crash down. Well, this is totally different because with this energy drink, all the uplift is B12, 4,900% of B12. It's a water-soluble vitamin. From cleaning products, and that is actually over 50 years old of cleaning products, all ecological, all biodegradable and so forth, great cleaning products and so forth. So these are some of the exclusive brands that we have access to, plus a whole bunch of major brand companies. So it was fun. The other night I was in Best Buy. And so I was talking to a guy, and I said, a salesman, and we're talking, and I said, great, now, you know, do you make, and I already knew the answer, but I was just having fun. I said, do you work on commission? He goes, no, nobody in the store gets commission at all. I said, really? Nobody. He says, nobody. I said, so whatever I buy, you don't make any commission at all? He goes, no. I said, that is really weird. I mean, it's fun because all these companies we do business with as well. So here's the thought process, and we'll give you a few numbers. How many of you are going to buy stuff in the next 5 to 10 years of your life? We're all going to buy stuff somewhere. And here's the simple thought. Everything you and I buy, does somebody make money from it? Absolutely. Here's the thought. Why not you? There's a book out called Household Gold. Okay, great book. And if you ask somebody for it, they can probably borrow it to you. And the premise is this. Anybody who is successful at anything always understands that the first step of success we talk about is leveraging. But the key part of what you want to leverage is your own money, what you already spend. Make sense? It's the first step. Leverage your time and leverage your what? Money. If you can leverage your time and leverage your money, you are in a good spot. So we'll talk about leveraging time here in a second, but the first thing is leverage your money by taking the exact same money you're going to spend anyway. Okay? And if you have a budget you work with, Okay, okay, this is how much money I have to work with. Take that money, but use it in a way that you make money. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is taking things that you might buy anyway. For example, it could be nutrition supplements. Okay, when you do that, there's an average of 30% savings on everything. So when you buy something, save the money. Great. Now, with that, though, there's also other things. So, for example, there might be some of the things that we have access from sport drinks to immunity twist tubes to other nutrition products, skincare products, cleaning products, variety of things, gift albums, all things that you use. Great, use it. Now, with that, though, you can also endorse it. So you use it, save 30%. You can also endorse it. Great. And now you create a 30% profit. So either way, whether you use it or endorse it, you make about 30%. Now think about this. Do you think it's safe to say that over the next 10, well, give me a figure. What do you think the average family now, spends per month on everything outside of rent, house payment, car payment, kind of stuff, things that they would buy for themselves, food, whatever, kid figure. What figure? How much? 500. Now, how many for some of you, how many 500 is low?
Yeah, 500.
Okay, now for some, that's high. Okay, doesn't matter. Now just think about that. Take $500 times 12, that's $6,000 a year. Take that times 10 years. That's $60,000. 30% of 60,000? Is that an okay? See, the first key is leveraging your money. Leveraging it by buying it through your own business. One of the things that Cindy and I do, we will not buy from anything from anybody else's business if we have it ourselves. It's a first step of leveraging yourself. But now, let's do this. Let's talk about a business plan where you can not only leverage your money, but now leverage your time by building a team of people. And here's the reality. All the companies that we have a chance to work with, they now will not only pay us for things we buy ourselves, but anybody that we send, their consumer buying power to, the community, they will pay us as well. So, let's just start with you. Let's talk about a business that has 100 points. Now, at the top, you'll see that we have three things. You have Amway Corporation that will work with you from a product base, everything that they work with, 180-day guarantee and all the products and so forth. We have a team. That is this team right here, the person who invited you, a physical team that will help you build a business. And then we have another program here called EDGE, Entrepreneurial Development Group, that is the training aspect of everything. This is key. How many of you know that everything you and I learn in life, we learn from one of two ways? What are they? Your own experience, which is usually mistakes, or somebody else's experience, which is their mistakes. How do you think it's better to learn from somebody else's mistakes? That is what they do. So there's a system set up through audios, through books, through conferences, where we can learn from other people's success. So let's just say it's you, okay? Let's say that we do a business of 100 points. Now, a point is a unit of measurement. It's very simple. About 1 point for every $3. So my deodorant, which is working really hard right now, okay, is earning its points right now, okay? My shampoo has points. My toothpaste has points. The cereal I had this morning has points. My peanut butter has points. Everything has points. Great. So if we say about 100 points, roughly that'd be about $300 less than what you said as an average. So let's downscale. Let's say $300, 100 points. Well, here's what happens. That $90, that comes from that 30% that I talked about. Okay, $300, 30%, $90. There's, on top of that, a $9 bonus. Where does that come from? Right here. 100 points is 3%. That's where the bonus starts. 3% is paid on the $300. So there's another $99 or $9 right there. So a total of $99 a year or $99 a month, $1,200 a year. Okay, great. How many of you will get a $99 check from Walmart this month for shopping there? We didn't get a check. I thought, hey, our first month in business, we didn't do a lot. We just get a few things started. We made I think it was $4.68. Gave it a check, okay? I was fired up. Booked our first trip to Hawaii. Okay, no, we didn't. But you know what? I'll tell you, I thought, okay, it's good because I've redirected and leveraged what? My money. I've leveraged my money that I'm getting a little bit back. Now, what if I could leverage more buying power? What if I could leverage more buying power and more time? What would happen? Well, that's exactly what we do. Because you know what? We're finding a lot of people that are looking right now for a variety of reasons. You can see these yourselves as far as pay cuts, hours reduced, and so forth. There's a lot of people that never thought their jobs would ever be eliminated that are absolutely shocked today about what's going on. We're seeing a lot of people who are working 2, 3 jobs to try to keep up with things. So, hey, it's a starting point. But now, let's build a team. That team now, you have the ability to now tap into more volume. So let's do this. Let's say that we share the concept with some other people. Now, we can share as many as you want. You can share with 900. You can share with people overseas because of the technology. You can share with anybody you want. We're going to use a simple example of 9. Let's say that we share the concept with 9 households with you. That is a team of 10 households, average of 100 points, about 1,000 points in business. Now, here's what's fun. Of that 1,000 points, how many of it was yours? 100. 1/10. How many of you this week would like your total buying power, your total income, that your actually work only represented 1/10 of it? Make sense? How many of you would like to go into work for 4 hours and get paid for 40? That'd be a good job. Am I right? You think, well, I know some construction workers that do that, I think. No. Okay, no, just kidding. But the reality is this. That'd be good. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to leverage, because you know what? Every one of these people are going to buy stuff. They're going to buy stuff somewhere. Let's help them buy it from themselves. Great products that they can do themselves. Now, here's what's fun. When we help them do that, that's 1,000 points in that team. Well, that rolls up. It's 12%. Now, each one of these people, they get paid as well. That was that first thing I showed you of 3%. Now, there's a difference between 12 and 3. That's the key. It's called differential. Okay, math giants. 12 minus 3. What's the difference? 9%. Think about this. How many households would you like on a team if you made 9% off of everything they bought every month anyway? Am I right? Because they're going to buy it anyway. Well, in this example, that 9% represents to you, including what you saved or made on what you used or endorsed, about $369 a month or $4,400 a year. Well, let's ask, what would you do with an extra just under $400 a month? Now, how many think that right there looks good? Not her, but that right there. How many of you think a massage a week could reduce some stress? Well, you have a good point there. It's a very good point. Sumo wrestler, no. Okay, great. But could you find a place right now for an extra $369 every month? Could that be a car payment? It could. How many think it'd be fun just to put that away and put it towards something, maybe a trip? You could go to Hawaii, put it aside for a year, take it. How many of you, if you went into work tomorrow at a job and you got a $369 a month pay increase, you'd smile about that? Exactly. And here's the key. Who's in control of this?
You are.
You are, because you're an entrepreneur. We work together as a team. I love this because I now set the pace. So if somebody did not want to be in business, great, they could be a customer, no problem at all. If they wanted to be in business, we could help them. Now here's what's fun though. Every one of these people, guess what? They buy stuff, but they also know people. And here's what's fun about it. What if they want to share the concept? Let's say that, as an example, each one of these share the concept with 6 others. Now they won't. This guy might share it with 40. This person might share it with none. Okay? We're using it as an example. And it could be anywhere. It doesn't matter where they are. Okay? Our daughter was in Sioux Falls, moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Great. Got involved with some people in her business in Atlanta. She's now moved to New York, but she's been in communication with a guy in California who called and said, hey, listen, I'd like to talk to you about the business. Oh, okay, we can talk. I have no problem with that. Okay? It doesn't matter where people live. Let's say, though, that we help each of those share the concept with 6. That's a total of 700 points on each of these people's teams. Total that up, that's 63 plus you, 64 households, 6,400 points, represents about $20,000 of business. Well, here's the key. That's a team total of 23. Now, each of these people at 700 points, that's at 9%. Okay, math giants, 23 minus 9. Some using your fingers.
14.
14. How many of you would like 14% of McDonald's? See, percentages are leveraging yourself. I got very, very excited about the thought process of what if I could build something that every month you got a percentage on it. Just an ongoing, just a percentage of everything that they were going to do every month anyway. In this example, that is $2,800 a month or $33,000 a year. Well, let me ask you, what would you do with an extra almost $3,000 a month? How many of you would live in a different house? Would you pay off some debt? How about putting money in a savings account? How'd you like to have enough money put aside already so when you need a new car, no big deal, it's already in the account? Is that okay? Interesting. Cindy flew up to New York to visit our daughter. while she's in Omaha, she flew out of Omaha, okay? When she gets back, they said, no, when was your car parked here? And she said, left last Thursday. Says, did anybody call you at all about the hailstorm? She goes, no. We've got to look at your car. Sure enough, a hailstorm came through, totaled her car out. It looks like the Minnesota Twins, every hit they did not have all year, they took out on her car. That's what it looks like. So, okay, well, totaled her car out. Well, you know, no big deal. Why? Because we already had the money put aside. We knew we already had it put aside in an account. Great, go get a different car. Boom, here we go, pay the check, let's go. No problem. I think that's a good feeling. Absolutely, to do it that way. Now, here's what's fun about it. That $2,800 a month, is that only 1 month? No, it's every month. Why? Because are they going to buy more deodorant in their life? More ketchup, more, laundry care, more cosmetic. They're going to buy it over and over. Great. Now, here's the reality. We can grow more if you want, but what would that do for you? Maybe it's time with the family, because for Cindy, that meant she didn't have to work full time. I also wanted to pay that off. That was a big one for me, to pay that off. Just having a chance for more vacations, things that you want to do. What would it do for you? Now, with that point on, we can stop there or you can build more. Everybody's in control. And here's what's fun about it. You determine it, nobody else does. Let's give an example. Let's say that each of those 6 share the concept with 3 others. Okay? Well, basically what you're talking about a very substantial business, over 200 families in that business. Now, when that happens, you've not only topped over here at the 25% level, but you've actually tapped on to other bonuses that you can work with at that time. So total, in that size of business there, is $6,200 a month or $75,000 a year. Let me ask you, how many for some of you, creating a $75,000 a year income at your current job would be a hard stretch in the next few years? As a youth pastor, I would never, ever create that income. Ever. You know how many car washes that is? Bake sales. That's a lot of, there's just no way. What excited me was not the fact that I was going to do it, that I could do it. Because I could choose what I wanted to do. Everybody can choose that. Now here's what's fun. If you want to create, obviously, more with the other bonuses, the other investments, or not the investment, the other bonuses come into play, you're talking a 6-figure income. Again, a person chooses it. Now, the other thought process I'll just give you is this. You've done that. You've topped that bonus chart at $7,500, that was 25%. Let's say that you help someone else do the exact same thing. Do you believe there's a chance in the next 5 years that you could find 1 person, 2, 3 people who are motivated enough that they'd like to make an extra $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year? Do you think there's a chance you could run into that? Absolutely. Well, when you help that person do that, here's the reality. In that business, you create a leadership bonus of up to 4% of that business. In this example, it's about $1,000 a month. If this guy was Joe, and you got 4%, how big would you want Joe to build his business? Absolutely. Would you be willing to help him? Sure, because that's an ongoing for you. That's exactly what we saw. And so, the more you want to do, you can do that. If you want to help 3 people do that, great. That average income last year, about $125,000. Great. No big deal. Cindy and I have done that. Okay? If I played the video right now, it would be my athletic career, and it goes back in my history. I didn't have an athletic career, so that would be a short video. Okay? But Cindy and I have done that. It simply gave us the ability to have some choices in life, things that we wanted to do. Great. Now, if you want to help more do that, you can do that. Add 3 more. That's the annualized income of what that was last year. Okay? It's called Founder's Diamond. Bill and Janice Kerr, great friends of ours from Canada. They've done a great job in this business and built it actually with a special needs child. That was kind of their incentive because they couldn't pay the doctor bills. And they didn't know how they were going to do it. Here's what's fun. How many think that involves some work? Sure, it involves some work. Let me ask you, how many do you think that kind of an income would be worth some work? Absolutely. And so again, it's fun because how many people do you want to help? You can help as many as you want to help. Well, let's say that we had 3 more. That's that income. And a number of people have done that. Tim Foley, great individual, was an all-pro for the Miami Dolphins. But he understood that once he quit professional football, what happened to his income? It was gone. And so his ability to create something that was ongoing. Now here's what's fun about it, okay? There's a guy that registered Cindy and I, he built 3 teams. So he was my first coach. He did that. He could coach me. Okay? The second guy that was our coach helped 6 teams. How many know that if somebody's done it, they can coach it? Make sense? Exactly. What's really fun about it now, the guy that and his wife that are coaching us, and Coach Ron Shannon and other leaders, okay, this shows 9. He's helped 33. Question, do you think he's worth listening to? Absolutely, he's worth listening to, and it's all over. There's business in 40 countries. And so what excited me was not only the fact that the compensation plan was solid, it worked, of course, but the ability to tap into those kind of people. So, for example, if you got a 6-figure income, how many of you would choose to retire before age 65? Absolutely. One of my friends, through his business, he's helped 6 people. He retired at 26 years old. That's an interesting thought. But here's the fun part. Who's in control? You are. You have the ability to choose whatever you want to do. Now, you're not in business by yourself, okay, because there's a team. This family right here, Dexter and Bertie Yeager and their 3 sons, have built the largest Amway business in the free world. Now, here's what's great about it. They are our mentorship system. And so not only is a team of mentors, in fact, right here, Sherry Meadows, right there, this couple, they're our personal mentors in business and have helped a lot of people in this business, in this room as well. But this couple has built the largest business, and so we have access to incredible mentorship from people who've done it for a long period of time. So through them, we have access to a number of helps. We have a community website, so wherever you want to know where there's things going on, anywhere in the United States, you can find out meetings where you can send people to, different tools, things. We have an online video that we can send people to for a 6-minute concept to get an idea of what this thing is all about. We have access to training materials that we can use in business and showing the business, but also building it, as well as training conferences and workshops. Now, how many of you have been to any kind of leadership conferences in any other type of industry? Okay, before this, education and so forth. Okay, did you learn from people that were making a 7-figure income? No. So I went to all kinds of conferences, never learned. I got excited when the people who were teaching had done it, and they were teaching us how. And so the person invited to get more information, but I encourage you strongly to look at it. So we're done. Here's simply what we do. We encourage people to read, listen, and sample. Okay, we have information that we can send you home with, things that you can read through. Obviously, you can go and search some things on the internet. You can listen to some great things, as well as sample. How many like to eat? Okay, great. I'd encourage you to take the excess energy drink at about 10:30 at night, and then just stay up and read and listen. Okay? That's what I would encourage you to do. And so what's the next step? Okay? Obviously, take the information, read through, listen to it, then schedule a time to get back with the person invited. They'll answer questions, and then they will help you get started. Rather than you try to figure out, don't. We will help you as a team. We'll walk this through. Make 2 good lists of names. Okay? Or 2 good lists. First of all, things you do with time and money, and then names of people. Then learn more. There'll be another workshop that you can come to like this, and then use the products. I'll be honest, I was very impressed with the products. I was very impressed with it. And so when we did that, we got excited. So anyway, I'm done. Simply to say this. When I saw this concept, I thought, you know what? What if? What if, obviously it works, obviously it's working for a lot of people. What if it could work for us? What if I could be in control? What if I could control my future? What if I could decide if she works or not versus our house payment decided? What if I could decide where my kids go to school instead of our paycheck deciding it? What if we could decide where to take vacations instead of our piggy bank, deciding it? What if we could determine? What if we could choose our life? What if we didn't have to work for somebody else our whole life? What if we could choose it? And you know what? I couldn't answer that question. That's why I took another look at it, because I wanted to say, you know what? I want to understand this. And the more I looked at this, the more I understood, the more excited we got. You have a great group of people that will offer to help you, okay? In my opinion, this is the greatest business concept I've looked at a lot of businesses, hundreds of businesses I've looked at. Ronnie, you've looked at hundreds of businesses. It's the best business I've ever seen to leverage time and money I've ever seen, and we're just getting started. So anyway, I'm done. We're going to take a break, and I'd encourage you, if you're looking at this for the first time, set up time to get back with the person. They'll give you some information, try one of our energy drinks, try some other things, and we'll have a great time. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and do a little bit of training on some aspects of getting a business started. Okay? So, great to be with you.